Pete Carroll wants to make a return to the NFL sidelines as a head coach. Should the Jets be interested? We got a lot to get into, baby. Boy Green Daily, the day after Christmas, starts right now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Happy holidays, everybody. Hope you're enjoying it with your loved ones and your family. I am Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your friggin' podcasts. People, and before we get to our special guest right off the top rope, baby, we have Travis Preheem coming off the top rope with 10 gifted memberships. Wow, I think we might be in store for another historic show. By the way, let's also flip the banner as we're doing this so we can keep track of all this hoopla coming in. Our Boy Green emoji contest. Every gifted membership gives you a raffle ticket for our Jets giveaway prize, which we'll be doing in the month of January, but it'll be based on the results of everything that's happening here in December. So keep an eye out for that. And whoever gifts the most will win a custom emoji. And Travis Preheem is certainly in that conversation. He now has 51 gifted memberships so far this month, and he has all 51 within the last 24 hours. It's absolutely unbelievable. Quickly, let's read the 10 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club from Travis here, and then, like I said, we'll bring in our special guest coming up here on the show. Gary Newby, Bronx Jet fan, Sack Dance 99, Hank G, Adam Cavender, Alfredo Salas, Spin Max, Jay Honey Ace, Aurora, Kaiser Rev, you guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. Shout out specifically to Travis, and look at that, number one Austrian Jet fan. He gifted one. He hit a foul in the paint and just got an and one. Easton Trini, you were just gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership, and our number one Austrian Jet fan has 45 gifted memberships so far this month. Here is our leaderboard real quick. We got Flor Lily and Big D with 53 gifted memberships, Travis Preheem with 51, Jimmy Jets with 50, Austrian Jet fan with 45, and then Chef Kevin Gilbert with 37, and we have a bunch of others that are in the conversation with FL Phil 98, Ed Vargas both at 30, MFC at 24, Devin DNY for life at 20, and Neil Sr. at 20 as well. Good Lord have mercy. All right, without further ado, let's get to our special guest here on the channel. It is none other than my pop, Esden Zone, here on the show. Pop?
Hey now, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Hey now.
Oh wow, that was good on the production team back there. Kind of reveal. That's nice. So the day after Christmas, booyah. So first off, shout out to our number one Austrian Jet fan and Travis Preheem for all the gifted memberships so far this show. Like I said, it could be a special one as we're working up here. So shout out for the holiday season. It's been a historic last 24 hours or so.
Yes, it has. And by the way, I think it's time that we've had a conclave, if you will, a caucus. Wow.
Okay.
We've gathered,
some good words.
Shoot it out of the gutter. So, and we've come to a resolution. And if you would be so kind, I would like to. Is it okay to announce it to everybody?
Please. Yeah. You're the boss. Yeah.
Yep. So for this contest, this amazing contest,
all the details in the scrolling ticker.
All the details that are scrolling down below. We've made a minor adjustment.
Okay.
You can donate. You can contribute. You can enter the raffle. You can do super chats up until 12:15 p.m. on January 1st. We will do a special show from 12 to 12:30 on January 1st in the p.m., not at midnight. We're not going to do any idea like that. And we will keep it open from 12 to 12:15. We will timestamp it at 12:15 for entries at the last. If the next entry is at 12:16, you're not in. Will be tracked electronically. There won't be yeah. So 12:15, you get it all in, and that will end the contest. Just 12:15, January 1st.
Okay, so an extension for people that don't have to stay up till midnight. They're going to have their own holiday plan, so this gives them another chance. So let me make sure I clarify here. So all of our action that was originally set here for December, does it extend into those first 12 hours of January 1st, or it? Okay, it does. Okay, great. Just want to make sure that's clear for all the people that be donating. So okay, it goes
wide
all
open. We've added 12 hours and 15 minutes to the thing. We'll let everyone have 15 minutes on a show similar to this on New Year's Day
for a final rush,
for a final game day rush, a blitz, NFL blitz package, if you will.
Yeah.
And there you go.
All right, beautiful. Well, Schnitzel just comes in here with this. Good morning. Did anyone receive any Jets-related gifts for Christmas? Well, I got a really nice one for my fiance. I'll give her a shout out here. She got me a baseball-style jersey that's Jets logo. It's the old school / the latest logo because she's heard a lot of that crap from me. Hey, is this the new logo? I'm like, that's old, honey. Come on, that's old news. So she's throughout the entire holiday, she's wanted to make sure she gets everything exactly correct. And so she got this badass Jet baseball jersey. I have to wear it on one of the shows. It's really cool. And it's popping. So when I'm going bowling or I'm just trying to show off, baby, I'm slapping that puppy on. It looks very nice. So there you go for Jet-related gifts. And I'm sure there's more under the tree to come. Just got to keep taking another gander under there. But yeah, there's a lot of good action happening from that perspective. So thank you. And yes, thank you, Dad, for the adjustments in the conversation. I'll have to make sure I work that into the scrolling ticker so people can get that too. So I'll work on those. But Father, we'll get to all your other questions, comments. We'll open up the phone lines and everything. So folks, just hang on tight. But as you walk in, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way everyone can contribute to the show. Again, you can do it right now for those watching here on the program. But before any of some additional jazz are going to callers and all that other stuff, Adam Schefter came out with a report, according to his sources. Pete Carroll is interested in coming back to an NFL sideline. He took the last year off because he had some mutual parting of ways. However, they described it there in Seattle where he was the head coach. He was no longer the head coach, and he was some person in their front office with some mysterious title. He was hanging out there for the last year, but now he wants to get back to the sideline, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Now, in this report, specifically, he's interested in the Chicago Bears job, but Schefter mentions in the story that, there is intrigue for some of the other teams as well for what Pete Carroll could bring to the table. Pete Carroll, 73 years old. He has one in the batting cage. You'll love this one. Carroll is one of 4 head coaches to have led teams to both a national championship and the Super Bowl. Do you know who the other 3 are, Pop?
To national championship and the Super Bowl. Yes, I know who it is. Jimmy frickin' Johnson.
That would be correct. He is one of those names. There's 2 other names.
So it's 4 people total? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay, wait. Let me get the trivia music rolling. Hang on tight. Let's go. Here we go. Random. It's 2.
What's that?
Yeah. So there's 4 people. One of them is Pete Carroll, I already gave you. And he got Jimmy Johnson. That's right. There's 2 left that won a national championship and a Super Bowl.
Barry Switzer.
Ding! That's true. He's on the list.
What's funny?
I don't know. Maybe it's an inside joke. Anywho, there's one more guy.
All right. I got to think about this. Huh. This is tough.
Would you like a hint?
Sure.
He's active. That person is currently coaching in the NFL.
I'm currently drawing a blank, but hold on. Let me do. Jim Harbaugh.
Ding! I was just about to say, it's kind of obvious when I say active. I think it should come quite quickly because of course, he won a national championship in Michigan before taking on the Chargers job for the first time this year. But very nice. There you go. Random trivia, just kind of coming up here on the show. But yeah, so he's one of only 4 head coaches to have led teams to both the national championship and the Super Bowl, which are those teams. So he's very big name. He's done things before. He's flipped around programs. He's failed as a head coach before, the New York Jets, 1994. But he's also obviously had great success. The USC run was terrific. The run with Seattle was terrific. He did a little bit of the vice president of football operations role along with his head coaching ship. So he's done a little bit of everything. And technically, like I said, I think the official title I just found out was advisor for the Seahawks this past year, whatever that means. So let me just ask off the top. We did ask on Twitter those poll results. I'll be kind of curious to that. But right off the top, Pete Carroll is a name. Was it someone you were even thinking about potentially for the New York Jets? What do you think of Pete Carroll?
Yeah, anybody that was been paying attention, I have mentioned Pete Carroll on this show before as someone the Jets should consider bringing in. So the answer to that question is yes.
Okay.
I had broke the news before it was news, frankly. And I would say I have not looked at the poll. I'm not engaged in your polling or the questions or the responses. But I would say if I was imagining what the comments were, right? So just for the record, Pete Carroll walks in the door and immediately he's one of the top 2 winningest head coaches in the history of the Jets. He walks in the door. His win-loss record in the NFL, second ever, only to Bill Parcells. I would tell you that his win-loss record in the playoffs almost matches the entirety of the NFL of the Jets playoffs. The Jets have been to 25 playoff games. Pete Carroll has taken his teams to 22 playoff games, and his win-loss percentage is better than the Jets.
500.
So, yep, 11-11. The Jets are 12-13. So single-handedly, he's taken his team to almost as many playoff games, and he's taken his teams to more Super Bowls.
By the way, he is overall he has a 586 winning percentage. That includes obviously his head coaching stints with New England.
Only Bill Parcells
and the Jets
has a better record.
There you go. And with just Seattle specifically, it was 137, 89, and 1. That's a 606 winning percentage, which is even better. So
right.
There you go.
Yeah, and right. And so I would say the concern I would have. By the way, I think Pete Carroll is different. He's similar but different to Robert Saleh. That would be my concern. Right. What is,
same tree.
He's, is he the accountability guy? Now, I have not been in the locker room. I don't know. I will tell you that he brings something at a higher level than Saleh did, his camaraderie with his team. Right. If you have to go back a long time ago, USC in the playoffs, he was part of some gag where they threw like a stuffed dummy off a building during the team's practice. Google it. I'm not making it up. And it was a big deal. So go ahead and Google that. I haven't even looked it up, but during practice, USC practice, right, he was involved. So there was a lot of camaraderie with a lot of team building. He's a big practical joker. And so I think he can engage the team in a different way, right? The people of today, the young men of today, how do they respond to an authoritarian, a directive person? And he may bring that engagement because he's been able to engage with, college players and young players in the history of his career. So he's an interesting prospect. I could see you reading it.
What the fuck? Do you remember the backstory of this?
I don't, but it's like 20 years ago or so. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was
2005.
Hey, 19 years ago. That's pretty good.
Okay. Let's read this wild ass story. This is wow. Pete Carroll had some Halloween fun with his top-ranked and unbeaten football team, as well as some stunned reporters on Monday. Carroll and running back Lendale White, of course, everyone remembers him with the Tennessee Titans, pulled off the gag, which came at the end of practice. According to the LA Times, White got into a quote-unquote altercation with Carroll and some Trojan assistant coaches at practice while it was winding down. Among his complaints, he wasn't getting enough carries. As his teammates watched, Carroll kicked White out of practice, the Times said. White left and with reporters in tow, went to a nearby 6-story 12-story building. Carroll called the team together and told the players they couldn't let distractions get in the way. While Carroll was talking, assistant coach Pat Rule pointed to the building at White, who had climbed to the roof and was yelling. As the players turned, an apparent player in a number 21 jersey, White's number, fell from the rooftop. A few players gasped. Many laughed. Shortly thereafter, White returned to practice laughing. We wanted my teammates to really believe it, he told the Times. He was the most convincing, Carroll told the newspaper. He did an awesome job. What the fuck?
I told you.
What kind of fucking joke is that? You're fake committing suicide?
So, anyways, right. So he is able to engage with that and get results, right?
I guess. Yeah.
And I mean, his time at USC was phenomenal, right? The win-loss.
Yeah,
record.
winning. Yeah, right. Of course.
Yeah, right. And that's really what the Jets need. So would it work out? I believe that, on paper is the authoritarian, disciplinarian, accountability guy, but he gets results. So I would say similar to not to go down this rabbit hole again, but the Jets shouldn't be poo-pooing anything, right? The Jets, sometimes like the standards here and then reality is here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's re-baseline to the reality of the Jets and their situation. They're in a good situation. They have some great players. They're a good spot with their salary cap. But realize that from athletic articles to this Aaron Rodgers experiment, there's other things, right? So we can't assume we're the belle of the ball, the debutante, if you will, that everyone's going to run to the Jets to bang down the door for the job. So to out of hand dismiss Pete Carroll would be a mistake.
I agree. So let me preface everything with that. The Jets should turn over every stone. And I mean that. I mean every friggin' rock that exists. You had a unique advantage. They got made fun of for it, but you had a unique advantage of being able to fire your coach in after the week 5 result, which means you've had a long time to look at the landscape. You're interviewing all these GMs left to right, which you're allowed to do. You're going through this process. To me, it's super beneficial. You're able to kind of just really see what you want before everyone else has to do it. Again, I understand there's other people that have been fired, but none of those places have GM openings. Only the Jets are the only team currently in the NFL that have a GM opening. And according to Peter Schrager, NFL insider for Fox Sports, the Jets opening is expected to be one of the only GM openings available, which again, I say is a feather in the cap for the Jets for someone who wants to come in and just establish something. They don't have to be an arranged marriage situation. But I agree with you. They should look over everything. They should dismiss no one. The Jets should be trying to find, it sounds like from all the reporting, they have a very open mind in this process. It's not like they have a guy in the back of their mind, which happens all the time. Unfortunately, they already know who they want to hire. They go through the bullshit process, check off the Rooney Rule boxes, go, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we go to the guy we wanted the whole time. It sounds like the Jets aren't doing that. They're approaching this like, let's find this guy, whoever this guy is. So yes, off the top, they should absolutely be turning over every stone. I will give you my initial reaction to this. When I saw the Schefter report, I said, you know what? This would be an interesting story to discuss on the show. Not to be an ageist, but about to be an ageist. I was like, isn't Pete Carroll 73 years old? And yes, he is. He is 73 years old. He's going to be 74 at the start of the 2025 season. So from an age perspective, there's a limited shelf life. Hate to be that guy. We are closer to death than birth here for old Pete Carroll. That's something to me that would leave it as a limited window. And people have brought up the ideas of other older people potentially coming in and having that like ready-made torch passer already assigned in the contract. Like Pete Carroll's going to be the guy, and then some, not always Pete Carroll. It could have been Belichick, could have been anybody that's old, and then have another guy in waiting. The problem is that can sometimes be an awkward transition. And then in theory, this younger guy would just be coming from somewhere we weren't aware of, somewhere from Pete Carroll's background or something. So right off the top rope, my initial thought was like, he's a little bit old. And the second one was, can he clean up the BS that's in the Jets building? You mentioned the dummy thing, and he puts a basketball court. That's a Robert Saleh thing he brought over from Pete Carroll. Basketball court in the middle of the meeting room so they can have fun. And I've heard stories from Rich Cimini way back in the day with Pete Carroll back in the 90s that he used to do fun stuff where he engaged players. The draft thing with DK Metcalf where he takes off his shirt in the NFL Combine meeting to, compare DK Metcalf's abs to his old flabby body. Like he does all kinds of goofy, fun stuff with the players that makes him like a player's coach and young at heart and all these other things. but I wonder if he's the disciplinarian the Jets need. Does he have a disciplinarian style behind the scenes that we just don't see? Maybe. I don't know. So those were my two first initial thoughts. But like I said, I put it out to the Twitter universe yesterday with 18,000 followers, baby. And the question was this: hey, Jet fans, would you like to see 73-year-old Pete Carroll as a head coach in 2025? Yes, culture changer, or no, he's too old, man. And the votes are continuing for the next 13 hours and change, but we got a good sample size with 600 votes here. 63% of them said he's too old. 36% of them said they would hire him. He's a game changer. And when I went through the comment section, some people said, I can't pretend his age isn't a concern. I worry. Pete is my ideal coach, one guy said. It's not so much the age. I really think we need a drill sergeant, another Jet fan said. Some people said hell yes. Other people said hell no. It's interesting. People were kind of all over the place on Pete Carroll, at least from the social media responses. Seemed to have some strong yeses, strong no's, and some I'm a little concerned. My concerns of age and the disciplinarian, which are some of the things that seem like you echoed too, Pop, in there. What's your response to that, or else, or are we sort of on the same page? It appears.
Yeah, I'm not worried about his age, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, and I'll tell you that if the only reason you worry about his age if this was a rebuild, and I think with the young pieces, this is not a rebuild, right? So he's not like the guy from Big Daddy. What's your 5-year plan? Not to die, right? So he's 73 years old, right? You're going to have him put what's the, his realistic span of being a coach in the league is 3 to 5 years. That's realistic for Pete Carroll. And I would say that he is obviously, if anyone's ever seen him, he's a very energetic and he's a pretty young 73, right?
Yeah. Life expectancy in the United States is 77. So,
Yeah. So I would say he's a young at heart, he's very, rah kind of guy.
Sure.
And I think he brings both sides, right? He'll hold, he could be accountable without being, pulling out the guillotine.
Sure.
And I would also say he brings something to the table that the Jets are in desperate need of. And that is he took a 3rd-round quarterback from the NC State Wolfpack at 75 and turned him into arguably a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He took Geno Smith and made him a successful quarterback.
Yes.
Right. This is what the things he could bring to the table for the Jets. Jets are in dire need of somebody that, whether it's Pete directly, I think he's involved in those developmental things and the decision to get Russell Wilson a couple years into his time in Seattle, and then what has happened with Geno Smith, and the ability, whether it's himself or someone he brings with him or a combination of the both, to develop a quarterback, which is literally all the Jets have been missing for the past 5 years, is that quarterback, and that he could go get somebody, develop them, and turn the Jets around in short order.
Yeah, again, I was looking at a lot of the negatives, but you're right. Look at a lot of the positives here. He is, to the point, this culture changer, this guy who could establish his regime, for lack of a better word. Now, I'm not going to pretend like Seattle was a dumpster fire that he took over. I mean, Mike Holmgren, who, by the way, is up for the Hall of Fame this year, a salute to him. He brought the Seahawks to the Super Bowl, which they lost, sure, in 2005. Pete Carroll's first year taking over was 2010, so it was just 5 years after the fact. And they had been on a consecutive playoff run. They made the playoffs every year from 2003 through 2007, and that included wild card trips, Super Bowl trips, divisional trips. So they had a long little run of success there prior to Carroll taking over. So like I said, I don't want to pretend it was some ugly dumpster fire there for Seattle, but he was able to establish a winning culture, the Legion of Boom. They should have won Super Bowls back-to-back if he didn't do that stupid Marshawn Lynch thing. And while it may seem trivial, the perception of people that have 0 Super Bowls to people that only have 1 Super Bowl to people that have multiple Super Bowls, from a perception standpoint of the fans, is dramatically different of how we look at people. We should have looked at, instead of the Chiefs right now being the talk of the town, wow, this is the first time anyone's won back-to-back Super Bowls since the early New England Patriots in the early 2000s. Wow, they had the first time ever for a three-peat. We should have been talking about that with Seattle. They would have won back-to-back for the first time since those Patriots by, checks notes, beating those Patriots. So we could have been having a different vibe on who Pete Carroll is. I think a lot of people respect Pete Carroll, but it should have been another level if he didn't have that dumbass decision at the 1-yard line that made Malcolm Butler a hero when it shouldn't have been.
Right. And let's, while we're doing this, let's talk shit about the Patriots for a second. And
Sure.
I've done it before and I'll do it again.
All right.
Their dynasty. So if you're going to throw this word dynasty around, I think there's legitimate dynasties out there. You know,
Okay.
the Steelers.
Sure.
You have the current Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Right. You have the Cowboys. You have all these dynasties. But I would tell you
49ers, man.
The 49ers, thank you. I would tell you that the Patriots are the flimsiest of all of them.
Interesting.
They may have the most Super Bowl wins. They also have the most Super Bowl losses. And the wins are like this, right? And I'll dissect 3 of them. Just quickly, just quickly off the
top of your head. Yep.
Just off the top of my head. The play we're talking about, they should have lost that game.
Yep.
The pathetic game against the Rams. And the scoreless,
you're right.
And the scoreless first half against the Carolina Panthers.
Right. Well, you didn't even mention the Falcons one where they were down 28-3, and if the Falcons do anything, they lose that.
Right. And so how many is that? That's 4 of their 6. 4 of the 6-pack.
Yeah.
Right. And the other ones were Adam Vinatieri away. Right. So you break it down. Right. They have the slim, and then you go back and look at some of the Chiefs games. You look at some of these Pittsburgh Steelers games, and those games weren't flukes when they won. They might have been a rock'em sock'em robot battle, and then you have ones with some of the other dynasties, they blew people out. The Patriots weren't doing that to anybody, so people forget that. There's reality, right? They won how many ever? They've won 6. They've lost 5. So
that's pretty good. Also, they might have even they lost 2 to the Giants. They lost 1 to the Eagles. Green Bay. They obviously lost the Bears one in 85 where they got the.
Now, I don't think you can say they lost that. They lost. People were calling the police and like, can you do something because I'm seeing an ass beat, and there was a disparity at that time because the Patriots, I believe, and this is off the top of my head, this is 30-year-old knowledge or 40. Oh my God, 40-year-old knowledge. I think the Patriots played the Dolphins in the AFC Championship game, and I think they clubbed them. And to go in after that, and again, I could get wrong. There was an actual moniker. It was Squish the Fish for that AFC Championship game, and then to go and get curb stomped by the Chicago Bears, like it was embarrassing.
Yeah, let me take a gander real quick. Now that we're on it, I have to have it accurate here. Let's see. The Patriots beat the Miami Dolphins 31-14 in the AFC Championship game in '85.
Right. So the disparity between the NFC and the AFC at that time was the Grand Frickin' Canyon.
Apparently it was stark. There
right. And everyone thought it was cool when Jim McMahon, headband wearing Jim McMahon, was doing some weird dance with the refrigerator Perry. So, anyways.
That's true. Wow. That was quite a detour. Anywho,
back on track.
Yeah, back on track here. You're
first going to hire the GM. Pete Carroll should be under full consideration.
Yeah, your wife thinks you've gone off the rails, but choo-choo.
That's just because she's a Patriots lover.
Which could be true. I will just say this. I know that Pete Carroll has been a popular name for people said, ooh, he'd be the perfect football czar role, which again, it's unclear if the Jets are actually going to hire that. There's been a lot of chatter about it. Football czar, a team president of some kind, a overseer of the football operation, sort of, i.e. like a John Elway, which he was for Denver or something of that nature. So there's been some chatter, but again, I can't confirm or deny if that is actually going to happen. I guess we'll have to see as things continue to play out here with 2 weeks left to go in the Jets-specific regular season. But it sounds like Pete Carroll's uninterested in that. So I know a lot of Jet fans have floated out, ooh, Pete Carroll's this overseer. He'd be great. He's been around the block. He's been a league executive before and all these sort of things. It sounds like he wants to return to the literal sideline to be an NFL head coach. So it seems like that dream is dead for anyone who is sort of rooting for that in the back of their head. So anywho, it's an interesting guy. It's an interesting name. It's a guy, for me personally, it could be something I could get excited about because he's a former Super Bowl champion, the national championship. We talked about that, program builder, all those sorts of things. You could find a way to get excited about it. But yes, I have a lot of those concerns. And also, he's from that solid tree of the lovey-dovey bullshit. And again, that obviously worked. So I'm not trying to make fun of it to that way. He is a Super Bowl before I'm negative 40 years old when I was born. So like, hey, man, it worked. But for what the Jets might need in this specific pocket of time, it'd be interesting if he's the right guy. But again, the Jets should roll out anybody because of all the, like I said, the BS that they've been through. Before we open up the phone lines, Pop, one of the viral things that's going on right now, we've talked about this for the last couple of days on the show, is the relationship between Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. And I want to clear up some bullshit because there's something floating out there on social media, and I didn't want to respond to it on Twitter because then it would start it all over again. So I'll just say it here. Aaron Rodgers said that he has not talked to Garrett Wilson in a few weeks about this target thing. He said he's talked to him throughout the season of like, hey, man, like, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because I wasn't in those rooms when those conversations were going on, but he talked about having success and having targets, and some weeks you don't have targets, and just kind of like walking him through it as Garrett has kind of vented to him, I'm sure, for lack of a better word, about some of these ups and downs of the target share of this season. Aaron was asked, oh, have you talked to him recently? He said, no, not in the last couple of weeks. Now, people have took that to interpretation that Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson have not talked in weeks, which, by the way, is literally fucking impossible, people. They're in the same fucking huddle. What do you mean they're not talking to each other? So literally, at bare minimum, they're talking to each other there, and obviously they're talking to each other there. He was talking specifically about target shares, what they hadn't discussed. Not that they haven't spoken. That's just the dumbest thing of all time. It's going viral. Like, all kinds of people are running it saying, oh, what, Aaron Rodgers, what a fucking move. And I'm like, I got people they've discussed. Anywho, so I just wanted to get that out there. But the thing that I wanted to ask you about was this, again, this interesting back and forth. We talked about it this week. Garrett Wilson heading into week, 17. Garrett Wilson is the fourth most targeted player in football. So obviously he's been getting the rock for the majority of the season, but recently it's been a downturn versus Davante Adams. It's something like 34 targets to 10 is what someone cooked up over the last month or so, or whatever it is. So long story short, that it's gone down recently. Should Garrett Wilson, long story short, be bitching if he has the fourth most targets in the league overall, even though more recently it's been this? Because one of the points of conversation has basically been, sure, Garrett Wilson's been targeted the fourth most times, and he's had a really solid year, a really good year. I'm not trying to denigrate it, but he could be having a Justin Jefferson year if he kept getting the ball as he continues to be open. Because Garrett's gotten the ball a lot, but he could have gotten the ball more because he's been open when Aaron has been forcing it to Davante a lot. What's your response to that?
Yeah, I would say this was kind of one of the reasons way back when I was conceptually against getting Davante Adams. I didn't think that's what the Jets needed at the time. There's plenty of things they needed, and Davante wasn't amongst them. Mm-hmm. And because if you could name a quality wide receiver, and it's got to be like a DNA thing, like a woman golfer, there's got to be something. I'm moving quickly past that. There's got to be something about wide receivers, because if you just name one, and I'll name one, everyone's gonna be able to flood the comments with chats, but most of the historic wide receivers come with the diva thing. There are some that do not. I could think of
Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald,
and Marvin Harrison Sr. I'd think about Jerry Rice, sure, yeah.
Brown from the Raiders.
Oh yeah,
right. But then
Tim Brown, yeah.
But it's very also easy to landslide the other way. Randy Moss, everyone loves him. I'm sorry, sure. This is for
Ocho,
you. Ocho Cinco. It just goes on Diggs and on, and Michael Irvin, and you just
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, it's right. So, and
AJ Brown. Oh,
right.
AJ Brown recently.
Antonio Brown.
Oh,
right. So
that's
right. So right. Garrett is no different than that, right? And the fact is that Aaron was unnecessarily forcing the ball.
He was. That's true.
And it has picked up lately, but realize that even today, even with the numbers that have gone very well, he still is only catching 60% of the passes that are thrown his way. Right. And realize that's gotten like significantly better than when he first showed up.
And you're talking about Devontae.
Yes, Devontae. Okay, yeah. Right. He's, so he was forcing them the ball. And so, of course, Garrett forcing the ball, you see that Devontae's not catching. No, I'm not talking about recently. Devontae's had better games, but there was a tough time period. I'm like, Garrett, hey, man, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And there was that, and it looked like Garrett was on this Aaron Rodgers Darkness Island. It's a new TV show, Darkness Island. Ooh. You may want to check it out. But and so I can see it. And so he has the right, and it was subtle, right? Everybody twists everything like the words. I haven't spoken to Garrett about. You haven't spoken to Garrett Wilson in 6 months? What the hell? You're in every practice. But anyways, so I think they twisted what Garrett said. But in the end, he is a playmaker. He is the person on the team that to me is non-negotiable. If you had some weird, like back when Carolina and Jacksonville entered the league,
expansion
you could protect
drafts,
some.
Right.
Yeah, you could have some. You could draft other teams' players. Garrett Wilson is the one player on the team that I would like. You can have everybody else. You can't have him. Yeah, you're going to pick some people from here. Have everyone else. You can't have him. He's a generational talent. He's only going to get better, and we just need to get him the right quarterback. So it makes sense to me that, and not only Devontae, but there was a period of time even before Devontae where Aaron was unnecessarily not engaging Garrett as much as he could have, right? And so as a wide receiver, as a diva, there's but again, I think the media is twisting what he said. Yes. Right. Do you want the ball more? Of course I want the ball more. You get the question and then you snip half of what he said. Right.
Right. Because Garrett starts every question. So like, for instance, when this drama has been there, Garrett, boy, you had 2 catches for 9 yards. I'm making this up. We're like, oh boy, looking a bit rough out there, huh? How does it feel to not be involved in the offense, Garrett? And he starts it off with saying, the most important thing to me is winning football games. But I'd love to be involved. Garrett says he'd love to be involved after a 30-point loss. What a jerk. Like, yes, and it's been happening on both sides. I'm not saying Aaron hasn't said dumb stuff or Garrett potentially said immature stuff earlier on in his career, but there's been a bunch of things have been, let's slice here and slice it. Yep, run with that. Thank you. And then it's gotten some steam. And my fear was with all of this hoopla coming out, because this is another plea to people. Can you please stop tagging players in the silly stuff? Like, okay, Garrett wins MVP. Okay, tag Garrett. Say, Garrett, you're the best, man. Okay, great. Hey, Garrett, please don't leave at this. Or they're not even that. That's okay. But they're adding him saying, up. Did you hear the latest press conference? Garrett Wilson's long gone. Add Garrett Wilson 5. And I'm like, what the fuck? Everyone is doing it. It's just picking up a lot of hoopla. So how is Garrett, every time he goes to check his phone for a Grubhub order, he takes a gander down at the phone and he sees it and he's like, oh, geez, everyone wants me traded. And then it just starts getting in his head. That's the thing that gets me a little bit too. Whoa, baby. Okay.
Zooey mama.
Jeffrey with a massive YouTube super chat. You need to know, every time I get a super chat on this channel, we hear from my daughter, Zariah Luna.
Wow.
We need more than just Zariah Luna for this one. I mean, good night. Whoa, mama. I can only see my dad's eyebrows, which are, oh, there it is. Whoa, hey now, peeking out. Jeffrey here with a $50 super chat. Happy holidays and a late Merry Christmas to you and your family. I love you, Paul. Thank you for doing what you do. Sharing the pain as well as the love for this cursed team is more bearable the help of your perspective. God bless 2025. A.K.A. Jeffrey. And Jeffrey, we will be putting you in our contest because super chats certainly count, baby. There's no doubt about it. So thank you so much. Wow. Jeffrey here. Dad, what's your reaction to this puppy coming through, huh?
That's amazing. I look like the guy from Tool Time. It wasn't Tool Time. Home Improvement. The guy, the neighbor that I
Oh,
saw this time.
yes, yes,
Wilson.
yes. I know
Was
what
his
you're
name
talking
Wilson? I
about.
don't know.
Yeah,
Anyways, that is amazing. And I will tell you that. Is it funny? It's just like, well, I'm not gonna, not disparaging all Jeffrey, but you're gonna buy a car. Well, it's $19,999. Well, thank God it's not 20,000.
I don't know. I see a lot of people do that. I can't remember if Chef Kevin Gilbert did that once for something, but I love it. Hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate
That
it.
is
So,
amazing.
Jeffrey,
He's got Space Ghost there.
there you go. I love that. That's a good C there. I like that. So I just put that in our situation here. So that is 16 gifted memberships. Like I said, to make it equal for everyone else for every $2.99 super chat coming through. So that is 16 memberships counted, Jeffrey, which are 16 raffle tickets toward our contest and of course our emoji contest as well. Jeffrey, thank you so much for the support, man. This is awesome. Again, the last 24 hours or so. 36 hours maybe. I mean, it's just been a wild time here on the channel. So I love that everyone resonates with the show so much. I know, people love and hate me and this or that or the other, but it's been a lot of fun to be able to do this show every single day, barring, the heat going out or the internet going out in a few places. So every once in a while we get a random day, I guess, where the show isn't on. But most of the time, 99% of the time, it works every time, baby. So thank you, Jeffrey, for the support, baby. That is absolutely terrific. Wow.
And if going forward, if people could put in the comment, just
sure.
By the way, Boy Green, this is 12.6 memberships, because don't make him do math.
Yeah, I used a calculator, to be honest with you. It said 16.666667. So I guess we'll have to, get a little. I guess if Jeffrey, in some point in the future, does a little bit more loose change, I will put him over on the rounding up of the membership, I guess. But
if it's greater than 5, you round up. Just for the record.
Is that true? No matter like in this, okay, well then it's 17 memberships for you, Jeffrey. There you go. From my father, we'll put you up at 17 for the raffle tickets that'll be happening at the end of the month. So we will round up. Boom, pop. Way to do that for Jeffrey. Thank you.
Yep. Hey, Hep wants to know what the number of memberships is currently.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Let's get the update, which is a good question. Let me pull up.
We don't think this number will be updated based on today's engagement, but
that's a good point. Yes. So I guess you have to keep that part of the equation in mind, because YouTube is a little bit slow for instance, Austrian Jet Fan and Travis Preheim. First off, overall, just subscribers to the channel is 7,165. So that's just people that just subscribe to the channel. It's free to subscribe. Just you enjoy the show and you get the show kind of delivered to your inbox every day. Those are just straight up subscribers. For members, according to YouTube, before today started with all the memberships we just got, it's at 404 members. And it's a good point that my father has talked about in the past. I think it's important to share. For people that were just gifted a bunch of memberships today, like Travis Preheim gifted 10, Austrian Jet Fan gifted 1, and they are members to the show. But the members they gifted to those random people that I mentioned their names, and I try to always mention the names, they get gifted the membership perks for a month. But at the end of the month, it expires. Normally, anyone who gets gifted a membership, get an email that you were gifted it. Cool, you're a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. And then once it gets close to the end, hey, your membership's about to run out. Would you like to keep it going? It's $2.99 a month, or do you just want to bail? And people then get to make that decision there. But I do want to make it very clear that those memberships expire. So
we're about 433 right now. Just math.
Yeah. So there's a 433. And if my father's numbers are correct, and normally is, that means we are, and this is pretty important, we are 17 members away from getting the next emoji, which we're going to save. As soon as that happens, we're going to save, because that's going to be for the next custom emoji, because this is a bunch of word salad here, but it's because memberships expire all the time. Once we kind of lose the place of memberships because they expire, we can only have a limited amount of emojis. It is directly correlated to how many members you have. So as soon as you have the number, you got to go like, oh wait, I want that custom emoji, and put anything in it, and then you'll be able to replace it later. It's a long story short. So if my father's math is right, hopefully we get another 17 members before the show's over, so I can lock in that custom emoji, so we don't have to replace one of the older ones where we lose a member. And look at that. Our number one Austrian Jet fan says, let me do my part, baby. There's a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. 5 more members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Let me update the leaderboard first so I don't forget that for our number one Austrian Jet fan jumping in. They now have 50 gifted memberships so far this month. Whoa. So, yeah. So here is the top of the leaderboard right now. We have Fleur Lillian Big D, 53 gifted memberships. Travis Preheim, 51 gifted memberships. And then a tie between number one Austrian Jet fan with 50 and Jimmy Jets with 50. So it's incredibly tight at the top. Incredibly tight at the top of the order here. So we're going to keep an eye on that as it continues to get to those dates that you were talking about, Pop, of whether or not people can give some last-second aggressive, kind of over-the-top action here to try to see if they can surge here. Because there are 2 contests concurrently happening. One, of course, whoever gifts the most gets that custom emoji that we talked about. And then, of course, we have just the raffle tickets. So even if you just buy one Boy Green Coffee Club membership in terms of either buying it for yourself or gifting, that gives you just a chance to win it. And all you need is a ticket or a chip at the table, as one famous poker player
chip in the chair.
By
the way, EZ apparently is good at math.
Okay. Well, we'll get to EZ's math in just a second here. Sluggo, KJH, New York Jets Smoking Lounge, BP York, Joe Fliz. You guys were all gifted Boy Green Coffee Club memberships as well. Let's go to EZ's math. It always seems reliable. Let's go to EZ. He says a membership is less than 10 cents a day. Now, I'll tell you this, Bob. This is sort of interesting that EZ brought this up in this way today. So we watched a Christmas movie on like some slapdick app. Who knows what it is? And every 5 minutes, we got an ad forced down our throat. And there was nowhere else to watch this movie. So we're like, fuck it. Okay, fine. And every 5 minutes, the SPCA commercial came up with the dogs that are like abandoned and alone. And then actually it's the mother from The Sopranos. What's her name? Like Ellie Falcon or something, whatever her name is. She's on there going, do you want to help out animals at this time of year? Or are you going to be like a dick and not do it? And I'm like, oh, geez. And it's getting thrown in front of us. So you go, hey, all we need is 3,000 donors right now at $19 a month. Hey, man, that's only like 50 cents a day. And I was like, huh, interesting. So now EZ is my SPCA here. Hey, man, membership is less than 10 cents a day. Look at that math. Boom.
So you donated?
I did not. Absolutely not. Screw the talks. No, I got my own people to be worried about, for God's sakes. But I'm sure
I knew the answer. Just for the record, I knew what the response was going to be.
I'm sure someone's going to step up for the dogs. I'm sure someone. I mean, if the commercial is running that frequently, I'm surprised if they hadn't got to the number already. So, you know what? God bless. God bless. God bless.
You can't trust her. She was trying to bang a priest. If you're
that's true. Like, come on, what was going on there? I mean,
and the painter, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a long, sort of questionable track record history there. And obviously, our boy, Tony Soprano, he was a good choir boy. He never did anything wrong. So,
well, it's different standards, of course. I mean,
obviously, yeah. Well, that's just the math of it, Bap. So there you go. But yes, guys, so keep going, keep gifting those memberships, baby. Absolutely love it. So yes, but I want to make sure that I got that in. So shout out to our number one Austrian Jet fan and Jeffrey. Good Lord, have mercy. I mean, that is fruitful. Thank you so much. Okay, Easy says it is 0.0999666 a day. So there you go. That's math. Dad, can you confirm that math? Beep boop bop.
Yep, I can.
Okay, wonderful. So, but yes, I wanted to get that out on Garrett. Eddie Falco. Thank you. I thought it was a weird name. So I didn't know that was her name until.
Edie,
is it Edie? Oh, yeah. Okay. Edie Falco. How about this one? Okay, real quick. This is another aside. So the chick, I'm trying to think of like a good movie that she's from. She's been in a bunch of movies. Anywho, I've always thought it was Demi Moore, but it's pronounced what, Dad? Demi or something?
Yeah.
So like anywho, but I just like someone just kept saying it. Somehow she came across in an interview and just kept going Demi. I'm like, it's fucking Demi. What are we doing here? And then someone told me, no, actually it's Demi. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What's going on here? Why did parents try to be different here? Because obviously they spelled it Demi. But
yeah,
we're getting.
I think it's actually how she attracted Bruce Willis because he pronounced it that he thought she was saying Demi. Oh,
Hey
all
now.
right.
There you go, Andrew Dice Clay. Yep. Zach says, "So are you gonna help those animals, or are you a dick?" I'm a dick.
We all know he's a dick. Yeah.
And there you go. Anywho,
That's what the D stands for in Demi.
There it is.
Don't try and church it up, Demi.
There it is. All right, let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines and let's get some crazy festivities happening here the day after Christmas. Again, if you'd like to call into the show, that is youtube.com/boygreen25. We're streaming live on Heavy on Jets Facebook page, my Twitter account @boygreen25, and the optimal place to enjoy your Boy Green experience is youtube.com/boygreen25. We'll open up the phone lines next.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets.
God, this has been a fun show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, another reminder, like the video, hit subscribe. That is the way to help the show grow and get it in front of even more Jet fans, baby. That's the way to do it. And yes, William, give the shout out. Pour one out for Hep. Strum those guitar strings, Hep. Yep. Tip your waiters, people. Tip your band. Hep
That's right.
Is terrific.
And by the way, it is still the holiday season.
Yes.
This is that weird week between Christmas and New Year's where nobody actually does anything. So for those that still have last minute, I forgot someone for Christmas, the Boy Green merch store is down below. Go look at the link. Hats, Baconator, Moron, Hop on Pop, just the standalone Boy Green. There's a lot of stuff out there. Throw pillows, aprons, coffee cups, multiple styles. Get yours today.
You sure can. That is, by the way, in the YouTube description of every single video that we put out. So it's always down there. And so is how you guys can join the Boy Green Coffee Club right now. I see it stands out because when someone is a part of the Boy Green Coffee Club, let me just throw up Jeffrey here. He has the membership label right here. That indicates that he is a current member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, whether gifted or he got it himself of purchasing it. And I won't highlight people that aren't. That'd be a dick thing to do, is highlight people who aren't. But you could see who aren't. So if you can, it's very easy. You could join the Boy Green Coffee Club in the YouTube description down below. It literally says join Boy Green Coffee Club by clicking here. And it's only $2.99 a month, so it can help support the show. So feel free to do that down in the YouTube description down below.
It's $2.99 a month. And realize this.
That's true.
Christmas may have been yesterday, but it is the second day of Hanukkah. So let's go, people. Get your stuff.
Yeah, there you go. So make sure you get it in. Again, according to Easy, it's 0.00456842. Carry the 1 cent a day, people. So what are we doing? Make sure you reach into your pockets and grab your loose change. And for goodness sake, I need food on the table for my family. Let's go to the phone lines. We got Easy, who's been calculating all this behind the scenes. Easy, thank you for your mathematical
his hat
contribution.
His heating up of the math popped his hat off.
That could be it.
I did $2.99 a month divided by 30. And I got, I think, 0.099966 or something like that.
And carry the
I don't know. I might have had one of the 9s and 6s screwed up, but yeah, look, if it's $3 a month and it's 30 days in a month, it's 10 cents a day. I mean, you don't need a calculator. I just did. Yeah, I just did the calculator just to kind of get it closer-ish,
Sure.
Or December or January.
I have a quick crowdsource question. Because I'm debating something.
All right.
And I want everybody to try to give me their advice.
All right.
I have a Cadillac ATS that's got like that 4-cylinder Ecotec motor, and they have lots of problems. And for $4,000, I can rebuild it and put it back in.
Ooh.
Or for $13,000, I can finance a brand new Toyota Tacoma on a 3-year, 12,000-mile lease for $345 a month, which comes out to about $13,000 over the 3-year term. Now, the advantage of this is if I fix the Cadillac, it's got 170-something thousand miles on it. I'm going to need U-joints and other stuff, front end stuff might go bad and this and that. But if I get the Tacoma, it's only going to cost me, like $8,000 more over that period, and it's bumper to bumper warranty. All I have to do is put gas in it. I even get free oil changes. So I'm just wondering, should I go for the new Taco or should I fix the old Caddy?
Okay, Pop, go ahead.
Yeah, I would worry. I would be concerned. Those leases look like a great idea on paper, but you literally get like 2,000 miles a year before
I'm getting 12,000. It's 12,000 a year.
Do you know how far you drive?
It's a 3-year, 36. Yeah, but I have three other vehicles. I got my work van that I mothballed and just took it out of mothballed, and that's running great right now. I got the Cadillac, and me and my buddy are going to put a Band-Aid on it and try to sell it. And I still have my Corvette that's in the paint shop. So it's not like I'm going to be running miles up on it, but at least I'll have a brand new Toyota Tacoma 4-door 4-wheel drive for 3 years for $345 a month. So
yeah,
instead of throwing $4 or $5 into the Cadillac, which has got 172,000 miles on it. So
yeah, if you're confident you're gonna be less than 12,000 miles. A year.
Absolutely, yeah.
What year's the Cadillac?
It's a 2024. I mean, excuse me, a 2014.
Oh, I was like, Jesus! Like, how did you get that many miles on it already? I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I bought it with 43,000.
You've got a fleet of cars.
You do. You got a full team over there, easy. Okay. All right, I can understand how you can afford the 10 cents a day. Yeah.
Well, when I commute to work, I'm just going to take my old work van. So that'll save me 30 miles a day back and forth commuting to work. Boom, done.
Yeah,
so
I guess I'm going for the Tacoma. I mean, gun to the head, I'm going for the Tacoma because there's more investments to be made there in the Caddy. So yeah, I'm going Tacoma.
It's bumper to bumper. So I will literally all I have to do is make my truck payment, pay my insurance, and put gasoline in it. That's it.
Yeah, I would just offer one thing.
You
say it's 30 miles to work each way. That's 60 miles a day. I say you work 200 days a year.
15 a day. 15, 30 a day. 15 miles back and forth.
Okay, good. Right, because
I'm using my work van. I'm using my work van for that.
Until it stops working.
Well, no, the thing's got a crate motor in it, and I rebuilt the transmission before I mothballed it, so it's running stupid good right now. And that's my lifeboat, and I still have the Corvette.
There's a lot of comments coming in here. Hep says sell the Cadillac. Snowball
That's what I'm going to
do. Snowball says bring me in as a negotiator. We'll get it under 300. Don't settle for the 345 a month. You could get a better deal than that. I would also highly recommend that. Don't just take
it's a $40,000 truck though. They're already discounting they're discounting it of $7,000. I did negotiate.
We'll negotiate even more. Never settle.
Easy, I have one thing to say.
They got 7 2024s on the lot.
When you walk down the Vegas Strip, you see all those huge buildings and shiny lights and the strippers and all the other things. Those aren't because they're in the charity business. There's some reason that you're getting this for $345 a month. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So look out for the A1, baby. Look out for the A1.
Yeah, I mean, I could wait till January 2nd when the $1,000 Toyota cash goes away and then like really squeeze them. But yeah, I could do that because I don't need it. I don't need it. That's the thing. I don't need. I got 3 vehicles. I don't need it. But I'd like to have a brand new truck.
You should bring that to him, though. Yeah, I already got 3 vehicles. I'm just kind of looking for another. And then that's when they're like, whoa.
That's what I told the guy. I said, I don't really need it.
Okay. Yeah. And then threaten to walk out several times. Even if things are going well. Say, I'll walk out of here right now.
I walked out twice.
Okay. Walk out 3 or 4 times. You never know.
Okay.
There you go. You're welcome, Easy. So there you go. That's how we do it. Easy. God bless. We give you all the car advice and insights and everything else you need. That's less than 10 cents a day. Look at all the value you get from the Boy Green Daily Gas Darn membership.
There you go.
Quite a commitment there. Very nice. All right, Pop, any closing thoughts for you here?
Nope. I think everything should be on the table. And again, obviously hiring Pete Carroll would be the new GM's job. So let's get that done. And so if you're listening and you're not a member, become a member, get your raffle tickets, buy your merch. Let's go, and I'll see you on Saturday for everyone out there that loves me.
And for those who don't and want to do a hate watch, doesn't matter to me. All the views count the same, whether it's a hate watch or a love watch. So, yeah, baby. keep it rolling. Yeah, so tomorrow it'll be guest list. So I'll be on the show doing a solo show. Pop comes back on Saturday. Woody's on for the game day Jets Bills episode, which is the lead game for CBS. We're going to have Tony Romo on that call. So wonderful. Should be a fun one of Jets Bills on Sunday. Hopefully it's just as good of a game than week 6. That'd be terrific for the Monday Night Football. So shout out to Jeffrey, our number one Austrian Jet fan, Travis Preheim for the top of the show action. I mean, another fun show, everybody, and we're going to keep rolling. Again, all the information's always in the scrolling ticker. We'll flip that switch at the beginning of every show. And what's today, Pop? Is today Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday. Okay, so we will have a Boy Green Meets Woody coming up at 3 o'clock today. So we'll be back on air at 3 o'clock. We will see you guys then for that. Everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for your daily dose of Wade. Just before we get out of here, schnitzel. A little bit of schnitzel this Christmas season. That's what we like to see, baby. See, it's just that easy to join the Boy Green Coffee Club. Schnitzel wasn't gifted flying hoot. He said, I'm going to punch in my own ticket to the Boy Green Coffee Club, and he just did so. Again, that is down in the YouTube description down below. Quite simply, join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. Click that, and it pops up right for you, and you can join. It's $2.99 a month, for Pete's sake, people. So absolutely terrific. So shout out to Schnitzel here. And also, thank you, Schnitzel, for joining us. We'll put that also down for a raffle ticket. I'll put that on my list here in a second. And BG, what's my grace period for emoji creation? Snowball, you have all the time that you wish for this custom emoji that will be gifted to whoever wins this thing. We have to get into the design. What's it going to look like? All this other hoopla of whoever wins this contest. Who's it going to? Is it going to the person that won it? Are they going to gift it to somebody else? So, Snowball, we'll talk behind the scenes. We have ways of communicating to work that for you. But, I won't put you to some kind of crazy work schedule. We'll work together to try to make that happen. So shout out to a last second and one schnitzel action happening there, Pop, and enjoy the holidays.
All right.
Peace out. See you, everybody.